Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage, in the slightly overcast, low 60-degree state of Maine. That was the high for today. 40s at night. I don't mind that the 1st of June because it really cuts back on the mosquito population that had really broken out in the humid weather we had a week ago. So, where I live at the top of a hill, by the 4th of July or so, all the way to fall, I don't have a lot of bugs. It's just the month of June. End of May, month of June, when they hatch out, and eventually I guess all the puddles and stuff dry up here on the top of the hill and they go elsewhere. So anyway, tonight I was waiting on a guy to pick up a transmission, and if you remember, for 3 or 4 months before the Reed Case Turbo 400 was here, there was another transmission that had a factory GM pan with a drain plug, factory deep pan with a drain plug. The only application I'm aware of I had that was a Humvee, so I call it the Humvee pan. Here it is. I had taken that transmission off and stored it, never took it apart until I needed it for a core this week. I converted it to a 4-wheel drive application and I put a different pan on it, mostly because I didn't want to deal with the silicone RTV that was stuck all over this pan. So I've been scraping it, waiting for the guy here for a good 20 minutes, half an hour. I've cleaned up 3 times. We're getting there, but I'm not a fan of RTV. I believe I've mentioned it. I never really explained why. I worked at a Chrysler dealership in the late 80s, and the only gasket in the 4-cylinder front-wheel drive Dodge Chrysler Plymouth was the head gasket. Everything else was RTV, and that goes for the transmission as well, or standard transmission, automatic transmission. It did not matter. Everything got black sealer. Now the Mopar black sealer, if you can get your hands on that, that is some good stuff. I used to put my motor plate on my race car with it, and you could take the bolts out afterwards, and the motor would sit right there, just stuck. So good stuff. And you're very observant. The Reed Case 400 is not hanging here anymore either. In fact, I finished that, shot a little video I'm going to show you right now as soon as I stop talking. And then I used this stand to build that 4-wheel drive transmission. And I have another one over here that I started shooting video on. It's a brake drum Turbo 400 or 475, I don't know yet, because it's so clean and probably set outside maybe with when they dismantled the motorhome, I don't know, but the aluminum is so clean that the bolts are kind of stuck, if you know what I'm saying. If you ever had to take that apart, and I'm trying not to ruin the case. So any video on that will have to be when I'm done soaking, heating, and trying to get the bolts out of it and make the case still repairable and usable. So I'm going to show you the Reed Case stuff, and I'll be right back. I am finishing up the Reed Case Turbo 400 build that I've been doing. This is my ATD 1+2 trans brake valve body. It'll leave in 1st or 2nd gear. And reading through the instructions, you have to drive a 1/4-inch check ball into that hole on a stock case. And if you read, it says with a Reed Case, spelled differently. You don't need to do that. So that set my curious brain in motion, because I didn't immediately have the answer, but wanted it. So the beauty of dealing with a fine company right in Wisconsin, you can just give them a call. And I asked that question. Come to find out, further up inside the case, Reed uses a pipe plug to plug off that passage. The factory case just had a drive-in Welch plug that can blow out under pressure, returning from the trans brake when you release it. Therefore, you got to drive a check ball into it. Now we all know, but thank you, ATD, Automatic Transmission Design. Just a phone call away. Again, not a paid spokesperson. I just love when a company does what they're supposed to do and then some. I always check the flatness of the rear servo cover. This one I've had on the belt sander for a couple minutes, and it's not flat yet. Probably going to require some hammer work and then some more sanding. This one about the same amount of time. If I keep going, it'll probably be acceptable. This one cleaned up in about 10 seconds. After you modify the modulator valve, now the trans brake valve or scheduling valve. Make sure it's free in the case. And then the instructions are very clear on what needs to happen with the brake on and off and which ports are connected. It's a simple matter of just eyeballing it, but just like that, ready to install the valve body. Don't forget this giant ball in between the valve body and the separator plate. It shuttles back and forth. The only moving part in the valve body other than the manual valve. And when you put the separator plate on it and you carefully flip it upside down out of the transmission, as long as you don't separate these two, it'll stay in place. All buttoned up on the bottom. It's the first time for me using one of the Summit branded pans. There seems to be two versions kicking around. This one has the thicker flanges. It comes with these 5/16 12-point bolts with a little bit of Loctite already installed, which is fine. I don't believe you're going to get a flange head bolt next to the pan because this is really close. You could probably get an Allen head in there. And it uses a pipe plug instead of being half 13 thread with a nylon washer. None of this is a reason not to use it. It's made in USA, it says. Just an observation because I critique every pan. Because I see them all. And we're back. I'm going to talk about my timing cover woes for my 377 and 421 small block engine builds for the last time. In fact, I'm not even going to dedicate a special video to it. I just wanted to follow up for anybody that was interested, the 2 or 3 of you, as to what I was talking about. Now, when I went and put this on the 377, obviously not this one, still sealed in the package, but the one just like it, it became obvious, despite all the wonderfulness this cover has, that they forgot a step. If you notice, the factory cover has these flats. I call these flats. This one does not, and neither does the other one. And there's no way on this side, the water pump won't even get close to the block. It's blocking half the hole. So, Monday was a holiday. Tuesday morning, Miladon is in California. Now, they don't know me. I'm nobody. But I've been a loyal follower and user of Miladon products since I've been drag racing. I always had Miladon oil pans because they were reasonably priced. No issues with them. Good stuff. So, and I was overwhelmed with elation when I got this. It's going to solve my problems because they actually thought everything through. So Tuesday morning, I had already made my cover fit Monday night. I wasn't calling to complain, but I think it's important that they know that they're sending a product out that's lacking something, because I have the ability to do this. A lot of people don't or won't. So I called and asked to speak to the tech department. It's one guy, I believe. Name is Tom. And initially tried to explain my problem. And he was kind of hung up on the fact that they make a cover that is machined flat like this. And this one is beveled. And he told me mine wouldn't have the flats. Well, we were talking about different things, so I had to send him, their own propaganda photograph that clearly shows this cover with these flats. And the cover I have installed on the engine, which I'm going to put in right now. So Wednesday night, he finally had a chance to get back to me. They had a long weekend and they're really backed up, and I don't know how many employees they have. I don't know the story. He was really nice. Called me back and said, basically, how can I fix it? And that right there is the difference between dealing with a nice, solid, reputable American company and, much like ATD that I mentioned in the Turbo 400 section of this video, and buying something that's imported from you don't know where, you're just stuck with it in your purchase. In this case, I mean, if I had put up a stink, he would have either sent me another one or had me send these back. I mean, he was willing to help. He realized that I wasn't a nut and I was actually had a valid concern, and he wanted to fix it, and that is awesome. So I did not ask him for anything. I didn't want anything. I got plenty of equipment. I can make it fit. Disappointed that I have to, but mistakes happen. So I'll show you the timing cover and water pump installed. I'm not finished, but hey, let's take a look. So here we are, all installed. The 14805 Milodon cover comes with extra thick water pump gaskets and some short button head screws that go in the back of the water pump. And if I wanted to continue to massage, I could make this fit without any spacers, but I don't want to be stuck with extra thick gaskets I can't get off the shelf. I think I'd rather have this 1/8 inch spacer that I have installed. That's stock car stuff right there. It comes with 2 on each side, regular off the shelf small block Chevy water pump gaskets. So I have a matching 1/8 spacer coming for the crankshaft. I don't even know if I need it yet. And I need to fabricate my own alternator bracket out of some brackets that I have. The alternator is going to go on the driver's side over here. So this is obviously not final installed, but we are at the mock-up stage to the point where I can say it fits. If you knew how many steering wheels I possessed, you would question why I just bought 2 more. But I did. They were on super closeout. Now this one here is a 15 inch. Now typically I like 12 and 13 inch steering wheels, but the 56 wagon is going to have manual steering, and so are a few of my hot rod projects. So this one is probably not going on the 56, but it was aluminum and lightweight, and it's a blem, I guess, and it was like 20 bucks. So I couldn't pass it up. To use it with a horn, you'd have to drill the extra hole, but hey, we got the technology. Now this one is near stock diameter 56 Chevy, which I think is 17 or 18. This is a 17 inch wheel. Again, the 56 is going to have manual steering, and I kind of like this one. I probably will use this. I have the stock wheel. It's kind of spindly around here. This one has little nubs on the back. I haven't had it out of the package yet, but I just took it out of the box a second ago. But yeah, I like that. Black is the color to have. This would be cool if you had, complete aluminum interior. Might get hot in the sun, but then again, we'll worry about that the day it happens, because it's bare metal with little nugs on the back. This took a lot of work. Too bad they had to give it away for 20 bucks. Okay, that's enough of me for one night. I'll give you a break. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it's Thursday, and I have been such a busy, because Monday was a holiday, and then next thing you know, I had a lot of stuff to do this week. Had a dentist appointment, etc., etc. Next thing you know, tomorrow's Friday. So that happens. It's late. No, it's not dark yet, but it's Thursday night. And I'm going to go in and relax a little bit. Hope you do the same. I'll catch you soon.